If your dog sleeps next to you every night, they're not just being cute, they're revealing something most owners completely miss. What feels like a simple habit is actually a silent language your dog uses to stay connected to you. And once you see it, you won't look at bedtime the same way again. Because this isn't just about comfort, it's about instinct, emotion, and a bond that runs deeper than words. Why does your dog always choose your side of the bed instead of their own space? Most people think it's just preference. Maybe your bed is softer or warmer. But here's what your dog is actually doing. They're choosing proximity to the most important figure in their world. In pack behavior, sleeping close isn't random. It's intentional placement. It means security, alignment, and connection. Think about it. Even when there's space elsewhere, they still press against you. That's not comfort alone. That's attachment in action. Why does your dog sometimes position themselves between you and the door? It looks like coincidence. But what most owners don't realize is this is protective instinct showing up quietly. Your dog might look asleep, but part of them is always aware. Facing the door means they've taken the role of first responder. If anything enters your space, they notice it first. It's not aggression, it's responsibility. You're resting, so they stay alert. Why do they bury their nose into your arm, your neck, or your pillow before sleeping? It seems like a cute quirk, but this goes deeper than you think. Your scent is more than a smell to your dog. It's information. Eye tells them you're safe, present, and okay. Studies around canine behavior show that a dog's stress levels drop when exposed to their owner's scent. So, when your dog presses into you and sighs, that's not random. That's relief. That's their nervous system calming down, because you're there. Why does your dog move closer when you stop moving? Most people think it's because you've settled, so they settle too. But here's what your dog is actually doing. They're syncing with you. Dogs are incredibly tuned into rhythm. Your breathing, your stillness, your energy. When you slow down, they match it. Over time, this creates a shared pattern. You breathe slower, they breathe slower. You relax, they relax. It's almost like your bodies are having a quiet conversation every night. Why do they sometimes push, nudge, or even take up more space than they should? It feels annoying sometimes, like they're being stubborn or selfish. But in reality, this is bonding behavior. In a pack, physical closeness reinforces unity. When your dog leans into you or presses against your legs, they're not trying to dominate the space. They're strengthening connection. It's their way of saying, this is our place, not mine, not yours, ours. Why does your dog follow your exact bedtime routine without being taught? You brush your teeth, they get sleepy, you lie down, they settle. You turn off the lights, they're already in position. It looks like habit, but it's actually emotional mirroring. Dogs read patterns better than we realize. But more importantly, they read your state. If you're calm, they shift into calm. If you're restless, they stay alert longer. They don't just follow actions, they follow energy. Why do they sometimes choose to sleep at your feet instead of beside you? A lot of people misunderstand this. They think it means distance or less attachment. But it's actually placement. Your dog is choosing a position that still keeps them connected while allowing them to monitor movement. Feet placement gives them awareness of both you and the environment. It's subtle, but it shows awareness and balance. They're not disconnected, they're adjusting. And here's something most people never think about. Why does your dog insist on sleeping with you, even after spending the whole day around you? You were already together, so why does it matter at night? Because for your dog, nighttime is different. During the day, there are distractions, movement, noise, activity. But at night, everything slows down. This is when vulnerability is highest, and in that moment, your dog chooses you again. Not because they have to, but because they want to be close when it matters most. This is where trust shows itself in its purest form. Your dog is giving up their alertness, their independence, their instincts to roam, just to be beside you in a state where they're most defenseless. That's not habit. That's trust at a level most people never fully understand. So, the next time your dog curls up next to you, presses into your side, or quietly watches the room while you sleep, don't brush it off as something small. They're not just sleeping, they're choosing you. And once you see it like that, you'll realize they've been telling you something important every single night. And once you start seeing it, more small details begin to stand out. Why does your dog sometimes wake up the moment you shift, even slightly? You might think they're just a light sleeper. But here's what your dog is actually doing. They're tracking you, even in rest. Their brain never fully switches off when you're nearby. That tiny movement you made, to them, it could signal discomfort, stress, or change. So they check. Not loudly, not dramatically. Just a small adjustment, a glance, maybe a reposition. It's quiet awareness, the kind that only shows up when they care deeply about your state. Why do they let out that deep sigh right before falling asleep next to you? Most people ignore it. But that sigh is everything. It's your dog releasing tension. It's their body saying, "I'm safe enough to let go now." Dogs don't fully relax in places they don't trust. They stay alert, ears active, muscles ready. But next to you, they soften. That sigh is the moment their guard drops. It's one of the clearest signs of emotional security you'll ever see. Why do some dogs stretch out fully and expose their belly while sleeping near you? It looks funny, almost careless, but it's actually one of the most vulnerable positions a dog can take. The belly is unprotected. In the wild, this would be risky. So why do they do it? Because they trust the environment completely, and more importantly, they trust you. That position says, "I don't need to protect myself right now." It's not just comfort, it's confidence in your presence. Why do they sometimes leave their own bed just to join yours halfway through the night? They were already comfortable, so why move? Because comfort alone isn't enough. What your dog seeks is connection. Their bed might be soft, familiar, even warm, but it doesn't have you. And over time, they learn that real rest doesn't come from space. It comes from closeness. That's why they get up, walk over quietly, and settle beside you without a sound. It's not restlessness, it's preference. Why do they react differently when you're stressed or upset before bed? You might think they don't notice, but they do. Your breathing changes. Your movements become sharper or slower. Your energy shifts, and your dog picks up on it instantly. Some dogs will move closer, almost pressing into you. Others will stay alert longer, watching more carefully. They adjust themselves based on you, not randomly, but intentionally, because to them, your state matters. And here's the part that changes everything. Your dog doesn't see bedtime the way you do. For you, it's the end of the day. For them, it's the moment that defines it. It's when everything goes quiet, when there are no distractions left, no noise, no movement, just presence. And in that silence, they make a choice to be next to you every single night. Not because they were trained to, not because they need to, but because out of everything in their world, you're the place they feel safest. That's why they come back, even after long days, even after being alone, even after having their own space. They still choose yours. So the next time your dog curls up beside you, rests their head near your chest, or simply stays close without moving, don't see it as a routine. See it for what it really is: a quiet decision, a repeated act of trust, and a bond that's being reinforced night after night without a single word.